I'm researching algorithms, business models, and case studies to find out, do dating apps even work? I mean, in America, 53% of people under 30 have used a dating app like Tinder, but only 20% of all relationships were started through online dating. It sounds like a lot of people are using these with little success. So I gotta ask, do dating apps even want you to succeed? Or are they more interested in keeping you single, making them money month after month after month? In this video, I want to answer that question. I guess it's time to do some research. Let's start with the basics. How do these apps even work? Each app is obviously different, but the sign-up process itself is pretty similar. All you need to do is download the app, add some photos and a basic bio, and you're good to go. From there, you get a constant feed of people shown to you. If you like them, you can swipe right. If you don't, swipe left. If both of you like each other, then you match. Now you can start a conversation. The concept is simple. It's like a game, but how is this the norm for meeting people? I mean, I remember years ago seeing the ads for Match.com and Christian Mingle, but those always seemed so odd. And yet again, half of us are using dating apps now. So I think we have to look farther back to see how these dating apps turned into a game. It's timeline time. In 1995, Match.com launched as the OG dating app. It allowed you to search for matches based on your age, gender, and zip code. You could look through options and message the ones that you were interested in. But I mean, this app didn't revolutionize dating. It was clunky and hard to use. Also, anyone could message anyone. Recipe for disaster, which spawned competition, starting with eHarmony. This one stood out because instead of just using your location, it used personality testing to find you appropriate matches. It never quite beat out Match.com, but it showed the potential for what dating apps could become. From there, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Zoosk, and more all popped up, each with their own unique twist. Christian Mingle is actually a great example of this. It helped people connect with others just like them. Now, while all of these apps were starting to normalize the concept of online dating, it was still very hard to find a partner. You had to put in a lot of work. So what if it was possible to make dating easy? Enter opportunity. In 2012, when Tinder and Hinge launched, the gamified model that learned from your swipes revolutionized the dating market. It appealed to the younger generation with the fact that it was mobile friendly, and it changed how we all saw dating because it was an easy experience. From there, many more apps just like it started popping up because dating as a process sucks. You get rejected a lot. You meet people you're not really that interested in, and on and on and on. Gamifying dating made it approachable, and it helped to smooth out the rejection. But even if that part makes sense, I think it's important that we figure out how these apps make money. Before we look at the business behind dating apps, there's something you should know. There's an industry out there that thrives on collecting and reselling your data. They're called data brokers. Recently, over 2.9 billion records were stolen from national public data. These records are normally reserved for employers, private investigators, staffing agencies, and people doing background checks. But instead, these records, which include full names, addresses, phone numbers, birthdays, social security numbers, and more, have all been leaked for free online. If you weren't already taking precautions with your personal information online, this should be a huge wake-up call. Which is where the sponsor of today's video, Aura, comes in. Aura is a digital safety solution that protects you from data brokers and other dangers in one simple app. When you sign up, they start by doing a scan for any compromised data about you, your finances, or your online identity. With this check, they protect you from data brokers, reducing your online risk. Once you're set up, Aura alerts you if your info is involved in a data breach or found on the dark web, on top of providing fraud alerts when someone tries to access your credit or bank accounts. But Aura offers you a whole suite of tools to help you stay safe. Here are some of my favorites. They have a VPN, password manager, spam call protection, which I love, parental controls, and even identity theft insurance. With all of that, you're probably surprised to find out that it costs less than what I pay for Netflix every single month. And you can get your first 2 weeks entirely for free by heading over to my link at aura.com/benfar. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video and keeping my data safe. Wait, hold on, check this out. If dating has become a game, then the business model is pay to play. Let me show you what I mean. We talked about how these apps have you swiping and swiping and swipe, but if you're a free user, you'll eventually hit your swipe limit, which will make you wait to keep matching, like the mobile games that prevent you from playing until you pay. So if you want more swipes or more chances to meet someone, you'll have to pay up. So what does it cost? How much do you have to pay to find love? Okay, so as you can see, I've gone through and I've collected data on what these apps actually cost. I'm gonna go through the top 3. We've got Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. So we're gonna start with Tinder, and more specifically with these 3 tiers here. We've got Plus at 18 bucks a month, Gold at 27, and Platinum at 36. What you get depends on the price you pay, but the features you unlock allow you to swipe on more people, get more exposure, and stand out to the people you like. But you're probably noticing this one. This one's a little weird because it says $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year, by the way. Tinder Select is actually ridiculous. It just shows you supposedly better people. Guys, don't do this. All right, let's move on to Bumble, where you have 3 options. You have Boost at 30 bucks a month, Premium at 55, and Premium Plus at 80 bucks a month. Bumble is basically the same as Tinder here, but you get higher quantities of the features with more money paid. And lastly, we have Hinge, which has Hinge Plus at 33 bucks a month and Hinge X for 50 bucks a month. Now, Hinge is a bit different. You get the same stuff you got with Tinder and Bumble. With the more expensive Hinge X tier, you unlock a better algorithm that learns from who you like, and it helps to make better recommendations. No matter what platform you pick, you're just getting access to tools to help you level up your performance on these apps, basically. Looking into it, about 35% of Tinder users pay for the platform every month. And for everyone else, they get hit with ads to make up for the lost revenue. That is how Tinder alone was able to make $1.9 billion last year. So back to the question that I asked in the beginning. Do these dating apps actually want you to succeed? Because right now, it looks like a successful match for you means losing 2 paying customers for them. To figure this out, we have to take a closer look at the algorithms. When you have billions of people using your app, how the heck do you connect them? In the beginning, they start really simple with your location, your interests, and the people they think you're gonna like based on the combination of this and what they've seen from users in the past. As you swipe, they learn a lot about you, who you're swiping right on, who you're swiping left on, and they feed that back into the information they have about you to help make better recommendations for you. Once you start getting matches though, they start tracking your messages. The more messages you send, the more likely it is that you like them, so they will show you more recommendations of people like that. And if you exchange phone numbers, that's a huge data point that you're compatible. So their algorithm learns what you're looking for to make more accurate recommendations. But how do paying customers fit into this whole equation here? If you're not a paying customer, it can actually restrict how this algorithm works, making it harder to find matches. I feel like we're getting close to an answer here. If paying does make you more likely to find matches, then what does the app consider a success? Is it revenue or is it matches? Honestly, the answer is kind of complicated. If people were never matching and sticking around on these apps, then no one would use them. But on the other hand, if everyone was matching, they'd lose all their users and revenue. So it seems like these apps have to strike some sort of a balance. But even with that said, I actually don't think that these dating apps have to worry about that balance at all. Let me show you some data. Number 1, on Tinder, there are twice as many men as there are women. Obviously, this is gonna create a huge competition to get a match as a man, but it's also gonna mean that dating apps don't really need to worry about revenue. It's literally impossible for everyone on their platforms to get a match. But number 2, only about 23% of online dating users are actually looking for long-term relationships. Some are looking to meet friends, go on dates, whatever. But if you're looking to create a relationship, you're gonna have to filter through a lot of people. Which leads to number 3. 45% of users on these apps reported feeling frustrated from using them, which shows how hard of a process it can be to really meet people. But before you come away from this thinking that dating is a lost cause, I wanna share some thoughts. 10 months ago, I matched with someone on Hinge. At the time, I was pretty fed up with dating apps, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like they were pushing their subscription tiers really hard, and I was getting kind of annoyed. There was this one woman, her name is Alicia, and we've been dating since the start of this year. I've heard a lot of stories from friends over the years about dating apps, but I have to say my personal experience is pretty good. When I first matched with Alicia, I didn't know where it was gonna go. Once we took our conversation offline, we found out that we had a lot of similar interests and that we enjoyed spending time with each other. And from there, the rest was kind of history. Ultimately, I now know from experience that even if the numbers are stacked against you, it is possible to meet your partner on an app. No matter how easy an app might make it, it should be hard for you to find a partner. You need to align on values, you need to have similar interests, and you have to enjoy spending time with the person, which is a process that takes months to go through. And a single photo is just not gonna be enough for you to find that love connection. I also don't think it's a mistake that I met my girlfriend on Hinge. This app focuses more on helping people find these relationships by forcing you to share more about yourself and encouraging conversation over mindless swiping with superficial qualities. So really, you need to pick the right app to help you find what you're actually looking for. You're never going to be able to avoid rejection and make dating easy. But by persevering through these apps, swiping on the people that you like, and messaging those that you match with, you open yourself up to a new pool of people you might not meet in your everyday life. But that still leaves us with our big question. Do dating apps want you to succeed? Well, yeah, they kind of need you to. If it isn't possible to meet someone, no one would be using these apps. In truth, it's the human nature behind these apps that make them hard to find matches on. But let's face it, dating apps are here to stay. Half of our generation is using these to find dates. That's a lot of people, and it's still growing more every single year. For every 2 users that delete the app with a successful match, there's 2 more lining up, hoping to find their own success story. Dating apps don't want to keep you single. Love is just complicated, and even the best algorithms in the world can't solve that for you. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I really enjoyed putting together this video, and I hope that you liked it. Well, I assume you did because you're still here. But if you did really love it, you should keep watching. Check out this video I made last week about prime hydration. See you next week.